I do not pitch. I absolutely do not. Alright, hi YouTube. We are back. We are back to read more of the Odyssey. Alright. And YouTube has a lot of issues in the YouTube studio, like behind the scenes, where you like can set up the settings and view the analytics and stream health and stuff as you're streaming. There's also a side window where you're supposed to be able to read your chat. And almost every time it's whited out with this annoying monkey, a purple monkey wearing a red ball cap, carrying a hammer, being like, something went wrong. And I just have to like open up my stream in another tab. Why can't this monkey get his shit together? What is this? It's unacceptable. I just want to be able to read my chat in this tab, you know? Monkeys throw their food, they don't get it together. Fair. Well, maybe they should hire a different animal to be in charge. Let me mute my own stream. Okay. Alright. Unacceptable. Hire this animal. A guinea pig? Look, guinea pigs are good for, well, not a lot of things, but they're very good at some things. But I think that managing a stream, would not be their strong point. What do you guys think? Would you be a good stream manager? No, because you're too busy napping and eating? Alright. Hi, that's Ivy, right? Hi, Ivy. And Impact. Hi, Impact. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Yes, it's an Ivy. You're also too busy napping and eating? I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad life. I'm not criticizing it. I think it's great. They're living it up. Uncle Bill, hello, hello. You've been chasing kitties around, Ivy? That sounds like a good life, too. Okay. Alright. You're gonna literally eat celery. Celery's delicious, especially with peanut butter. You heard there was book here? There is. There is. Hi, everyone over on YouTube. And for those in my Twitch chat, just a little reminder that we are working on getting those numbers up on YouTube, which includes subscribers and watch hours. So if you would like to help with that, which there's no pressure, my top priority is that you enjoy story time. However, if you're interested, if you have not subbed and you want to drop a sub, that would be amazing. And if you are able to open up the window and just like drop a lurk on the YouTube stream, even if you're over on Twitch for the full chat experience over there, that really helps with the watch hours. And it's absolutely free. Indeed, indeed. You've had too many sandwiches, so you're going to lurk. That's so valid. That's so valid. I hope your digestion goes well. Quantum Weasel over in the YouTube. Hello, hello. You can't because you're on your phone. Totally fine. Absolutely. I know a bunch of you are watching on your phones, and so that's not an option. That's why I really want to stress. It's not a pressure thing. It's just like, if that's easy for you to do and you feel like helping out, it really does help out. Just letting you guys know. Pepe Mariscas, thank you for the sub. Wait, is gifted a sub to House of Obscura? Thank you. First gift sub in the channel. No, wait. House of Obscura gifted one to Pepe Marisca. Sorry, I was using a different chat. I was using the multi-chat instead of the main chat, and I can't always read it properly. House of Obscura, thank you for gifting a sub. That's incredibly kind of you. No, it's a different chat widget when I go live on YouTube, so that I can see both of them, and it just looks different, and it's harder to read. House of Obscura, thank you so much. If you're still around when we're done the reading portion and you'd like a name trace at that point, I would be happy to do that. Just remind me if you're still around at that point. YouTube loves interactions. It doesn't even care the thing you press or type. Yeah, dropping a like, just chatting, pressing those hearts, which are apparently absolutely free to do. I don't know, I think all those things help push the video. Dude, that would be so amazing. That would be so amazing to get the YouTube partnership this year. Dyslexic. Oh yeah. Alright. You're gonna be lurking? Sounds good. Thank you again, Obscura. Okay, so last stream we had a bunch of issues. And because of that, it took us a while to actually start reading, and we didn't get as much read as I'd hoped, but we did read book 1 out of like around 25. I forget the exact number. But we basically got through the first chapter. You're one of it. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Genuinely. You look nice tonight. Thank you, Casey King. Thank you. Now, short disclaimer. One of the reasons why it took us a while is because I was explaining the thought process that went into me choosing the translation that I've chosen to read here. Hi, Callie. Good to see you. Hello. And ultimately, I chose to go with Samuel Butler. There's pros and cons. However, I went into that last stream. You guys, I think, overall agreed with my thinking with that. However, the major downfall, in my opinion, is that Samuel Butler uses the Roman names instead of the Greek names. And I thought, phooey to that. And so Lemon Slut amazingly edited the ebook document to replace the Roman names with Greek names. Probably not in every single instance. I'm guessing Lemon Slut just like went with the major ones. There could be some Roman names. If I come across a Roman name and I say it and you guys notice it, shout out at me and be like, whoa, that's Roman. Replace it with the Greek one and we'll look it up. Because once this all gets edited and uploaded as a nice tidy audiobook, you won't see all of that. So let's try to catch those instances. But overall, I'm so incredibly grateful that Lemon did that. And yeah, so we are reading the Samuel Butler translation, but with Greek titles or Greek names. The comment that is, oh, could we get, let's do the book command over in Twitch. And then I'm gonna pin that there. And then, hey Waxtooth, if we can, you did it? I don't see it in YouTube. I don't see it. Can someone copy paste that over in YouTube and I'll pin it? This version has the Roman names. However, if you're part of our Discord and you go into the book channel, you can download the version that Lemon Slut edited for us. So what we're linking here is the direct link to the OG Samuel Butler from Gutenberg. Oh my god. I'm signed into the wrong account here. Gee. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Pin. There we go. Alright, so let's dive into the reading. And if you're following along, we are about to start book 2. I'm excited. I'm enjoying the story so far. Oh my god, and with the impeccable timing, we've got Black Dragon Tavern Gaming coming to join us. Hello! Hi everyone, welcome in. You are just in time for story time, like literally just in time. Wonderful, wonderful. You guys make sure you are following Black Dragon Tavern Gaming. Castle and Una are amazing. They do storytelling reading over there as well. Such a welcoming environment. Hi Maddie. Good to see you. So good to see you. Hello, hello. Mistress of the Book Court. I do like that. I do like that. How did your stream go tonight? We are diving back into the Odyssey, picking up with book 2, aka chapter 2. Cassie X's 6-month gift sub, courtesy of Lemon Slice, entered month 5. Hell yeah! Getting some good use out of that. Aw, I'm so glad you think it's cozy here, Cassie X. Glad you've been hanging out. You guys stop sniffing the raiders. We've talked about this. Oh, are you, Maddie? Oof. My condolences. That can be a tough fight. The wall, but no, it's a little heater. You had a grand evening. I'm so glad to hear it. So glad to hear it. Oh, and thank you for the 5-stream streak as well. Well, you guys, get cozy, because we are jumping into reading the Odyssey. I was just explaining that we are reading the Samuel Butler translation, which is the one that you'll find pinned at the top of chat. Only we're replacing the Roman names that he uses with the OG Greek names. Because it's public domain and we can do what we want with it. With respect. We're doing it with respect. Why would he use the Roman? I don't know. It was probably popular at the time in England. But yes, and we are also live over on the YouTube. Wait. I don't know why this just struck me, Shay, but I just have this strong feeling like if I ever get a cat, I need to name him Poseidon. Someone needs to name a cat Poseidon. Like with a puss. Someone needs to do that. Or name their coochie. Either one. Poseidon. I'm sorry. No, we're adults here. It's fine. It's fine. You heard nothing. Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Did you guys just wake up from your naps and switch sleeping spaces and like settle down again? Look at them. It's like they haven't moved, but they just swapped spots. You don't get to kill me with is it a sexy joke to call someone's cooch the king of the ocean? I don't know. Is it? All right. The Odyssey, Book 2. Assembly of the people of Ithaca. Speeches of Telemachus and of the suitors. Telemachus makes his preparations and starts for Pylos, with Athena disguised as Mentor. Yes, so Odysseus is imprisoned on an island. His son and wife assume he's dead, not coming home. His wife, Penelope, is being besieged by suitors that she does not seem interested in. And they're all sloppy boors who are just getting drunk and partying with each other and being terrible house guests. Which, if you want to marry someone, like, I don't know, maybe don't act like that. Telemachus has, had it up to here. Athena feels empathy, and so she goes to visit Telemachus to try to instill hope in him and get him to search for his dad, but she disguises herself as a man named Mentes, who says that he was friends with Odysseus, and yeah, so now Telemachus is kicking everyone out and not telling them, though. He's not telling them that he's going to search for his father. Manthena, yes. Okay. Okay. Now, when the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn, appeared, Telemachus rose and dressed himself. He bound his sandals onto his comely feet, girded his sword about his shoulder, and left his room looking like an immortal god. He had once sent the criers round to call the people in assembly, so they called them, and the people gathered thereon. Then, when they were got together, he went to the place of assembly, spear in hand. Not alone, for his 2 hounds went with him. Athena endowed him with a presence of such divine comeliness that all marveled at him as he went by. And when he took his place in his father's seat, even the oldest counselors made way for him. Comeliness just means you're attractive. She endowed him with divine hotness, and everyone thinks he's so good looking that they're just parting ways for him. They're just making way for him. Also, it specifically says that his feet are good looking. So keep that in mind. I'm sure that's very important. Comely versus homely. Yeah, very different. Okay. And now I do have my handy dandy resource of pronunciations. I can't remember if I looked this one up. Egyptius? Wonder if he files his toenails? I don't know. I have no idea what ancient Greek pedicures were like. Egyptius, a man bent double with age and of infinite experience, was the first to speak. His son, Antiphus, had gone with Odysseus to Ilius land of the noble steeds. But the savage Cyclops had killed him when they were all shut up in the cave, and had cooked his last dinner for him. He had 3 sons left, of whom 2 still worked on their father's land, while the third, Euronymous, was one of the suitors. Nevertheless, their father could not get over the loss of Antiphus, and was still weeping for him when he began his speech. Okay, this is an old man. "Men of Ithaca," he said, "hear my words. From the day Odysseus left us, there has been no meeting of our counselors until now. Who then can it be, whether old or young, that finds it so necessary to convene us? Has he got wind of some host approaching, and does he wish to warn us? Or would he speak upon some other matter of public moment? I am sure he is an excellent person, and I hope Zeus will grant him his heart's desire." Telemachus took this speech as of good omen, and rose at once, for he was bursting with what he had to say. He stood in the middle of the assembly, and the good herald, Pisanor, Pisenor, Basiner, hold on. There's so many ways it could be pronounced. We're learning so much. Wait, hold on. Let me change this so it's coming into my headphones. Why can't I hear it? That's crazy. What the heck? You guys. Well, now I've just lost all volume. Why does my life torment me so? Should work.
Pysanda.
Okay. Why is the one I need not playing? The other ones are.
Pisistratus.
Yeah, okay, the one on each side plays. Let me just refresh the page. How did I give you tingles? From saying Pisinor?
Pisino.
Pisinor. You can hear it? Yeah, it wasn't coming through my headphones properly, so I just have it coming through my speaker. Pisinor. Okay. He stood, this is Telemachus, he stood in the middle of the assembly, and the good herald, Pisinor, brought him his staff. Then, turning to Egyptius, "Sir," said he, "it is I, as you will shortly learn, who have convened you, for it is I who am the most aggrieved. I have not got wind of any host approaching, about which I would warn you, nor is there any matter of public moment on which I would speak. My grievance is purely personal, and turns on 2 great misfortunes which have fallen upon my house. The first of these is the loss of my excellent father, who was chief among all you here present, and was like a father to every one of you. The second is much more serious." Hold on. Okay. It's kind of a bad look, Telemachus. Okay, sorry. The second is much more serious. And ere long will be the utter ruin of my estate. The sons of all the chief men among you are pestering my mother to marry them against her will. They are afraid to go to her father, Icarius, asking him to choose the one he likes best and to provide marriage gifts for his daughter. But day by day they keep hanging about my father's house, sacrificing our oxen, sheep, and fat goats for their banquets, and never giving so much as a thought to the quantity of wine they drink. No estate can stand such recklessness. We have now no Odysseus to warn off harm from our doors, and I cannot hold my own against them. I shall never, all my days, be as good a man as he was. Still, I would indeed defend myself if I had power to do so, for I cannot stand such treatment any longer. My house is being disgraced and ruined. Have respect, therefore, to your own consciences and to public opinion. Fear, too, the wrath of heaven, lest the gods should be displeased and turn upon you. I pray you, by Zeus and Themis, who is the beginning and the end of councils, do not hold back, my friends, and leave me single-handed. Unless it be that my brave father Odysseus did some wrong to the Achaeans, which you would now avenge on me by aiding and abetting these suitors. Moreover, if I am to be eaten out of house and home at all, I'd rather you did the eating yourselves, for I could then take action against you to some purpose, and serve you with notices from house to house, till I got paid in full, whereas now I have no remedy. Guys, help, my mom's too hot, and your sons are all thirsting after her. Well, also, like, it just shows not a lot of forethought on any of these men's parts, because, look, I'm not saying Penelope's not a hottie, but obviously part of the reason they want to marry her is to become master of this estate. And they're currently, like, working on bankrupting the estate. Whoever marries into it is going to be like, damn, if only I hadn't killed off so many animals and drunk so much wine. Like, help, my mom's a MILF. Okay. Who's Themis? He says by Zeus and Themis. The ancient Greek Titan goddess of divine law, of justice, divine order, law, and custom. Goddess and personification of justice. Okay. One of the 12 Titan children of Gaia and Uranus. Alright. Alright. Checks out. She's a scaly? Oh, okay. With the... no, yours. Okay, good night, Ivy. Sleep well. With this, Telemachus dashed his staff to the ground and burst into tears. Everyone was very sorry for him, but they all sat still, and no one ventured to make him an angry answer, save only Antinous, who spoke thus. Telemachus, Insolent braggart that you are, how dare you try to throw the blame upon us suitors? It is your mother's fault, not ours, for she is a very artful woman. This 3 years past, and close on 4, she had been driving us out of our minds by encouraging each one of us and sending him messages without meaning one word of what she says. And then there was that other trick she played us. Well, she set up a great timbre frame in her room and began to work on an enormous piece of fine needlework. "Oh, sweethearts," she said, "Odysseus is indeed dead. Still, do not press me to marry again immediately. Wait, for I have not the skill in needlework perish unrecorded till I have completed a pull for the hero Laertes, to be in readiness against the time when death shall take him. He is very rich, and the women of the place will talk if he is laid out without a pall." This is what she said, and we assented, whereon we could see her working on her great web all day long, but at night she would unpick the stitches again by torchlight. She fooled us in this way for 3 years, and we never found her out. But as time wore on, and she was now in her 4th year, one of her maids who knew what she was doing told us, and we caught her in the act of undoing her work. So she had to finish it, whether she would or no. The suitors therefore make you this answer, that both you and the Achaeans may understand. Send your mother away, and bid her marry the man of her own and her father's choice, for I do not know what will happen if she goes on plaguing us much longer with the airs she gives herself on the score of the accomplishments Athena has taught her, because she is so clever. We never yet heard of such a woman. We know all about Tyro, Alcmena, Mycene. Wait, Mycene? Mycene? Yeah, maybe she doesn't want to get married, you guys.
Mycenae.
Mycenae. Okay. Mycenae. And the famous women of old. But they were nothing to your mother, any one of them. It was not fair of her to treat us in that way, and as long as she continues in the mind with what heaven has now endowed her, so long shall we go on eating up your estate. And I do not see why she should change, for she gets all the honor and glory, and it is you who will pay for it, not she. Understand, then, that we will not go back to our lands, neither here nor elsewhere, till she has made her choice and married some one or other of us. Telemachus answered, Antinous, how can I drive the mother who bore me from my father's house? My father is abroad. We do not know whether he is alive or dead. It will be hard on me if I have to pay Icarius the large sum, which I must give him if I insist on sending his daughter back to him. Not only will he deal rigorously with me, but heaven will also punish me. For my mother, when she leaves the house, will call on the Arrhenius in syllables. Arrhenius. Oh, this word is not in there. Will call on the Arrhenius to avenge her. Besides, it would not be a creditable thing to do, and I will have nothing to say to it. If you choose to take offense at this, leave the house and feast elsewhere, at one another's houses, at your own cost, turn and turn about. If, on the other hand, you elect to persist in sponging upon one man, heaven help me, but Zeus shall reckon with you in full. And when you fall in my father's house, there shall be no man to avenge you. As he spoke, Zeus sent 2 eagles from the top of the mountain, and they flew on and on with the wind, sailing side by side in their own lordly flight. When they were right over the middle of the assembly, they whirled and circled about, beating the air with their wings and glaring death into the eyes of them that were below. Then, fighting fiercely and tearing at one another, they flew off towards the right over the town. The people wondered as they saw them and asked each other what all this might be, whereupon Halitherses, who was the best prophet and reader of omens among them, spoke to them plainly and in all honesty, saying, "Hear me, men of Ithaca, and I speak more particularly to the suitors, for I see mischief brewing for them. Odysseus is not going to be away much longer. Indeed, he is close at hand to deal out death and destruction, not on them alone, but on many another of us who live in Ithaca. Let us then be wise in time and put a stop to this wickedness before he comes. Let the suitors do so of their own accord. It will be better for them, for I am not prophesying without due knowledge. Everything has happened to Odysseus as I foretold when the Argives sent out for Troy, and he with them." Is it Argives? Or is it like Argives?
Argives.
Argives. Okay. Yeah, you need to know your... What would that be? Auguromancy? Or is it just augury? I said that after going through much hardship and losing all his men, he should come home again in the 20th year, and that no one would know him. And now, all this is coming true. Eurymachus, son of Polybus, then said, "Go home, old man, and prophesy to your own children, or it may be worse for them. I can read these omens myself much better than you can. Birds are always flying about in the sunshine somewhere or other, but they seldom mean anything. Odysseus has died in a far country, and it is a pity you are not dead along with him." Bro, okay. Instead of prating here about omens and adding fuel to the anger of Telemachus, which is fierce enough as it is. Christ. Banana, thank you for the tier 3 sub. Oh my goodness, thank you, Mr. Banana Peel. Thank you so much for that tier 3 sub. Thank you so much. If you're still around, after the reading portion, I would love to do a name trace for you. And Pepe El Gasolo, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Hi, Rich. How are you doing? Yeah, it's good to see you. Spoopy a sec. It made me jump a little bit. Oh, in a fun way, though. Yeah, this dude needs to get a little punch in the mouth, I think. A little punch in the mouth. Perhaps. Also, Telemachus needs to, forgive me, but like, man the fuck up, okay? He's all like, oh, I can never be as good as my dad. Oh, you guys are taking advantage. Like, Why have you been... Anyway. He's been sitting around waiting for his dad to come back for too long, as opposed to being like, I am waiting for my dad to come back, but I'm going to take care of things in his absence. Hi, Ilk. Good to see you. Whoa, spoilers, Artax. Okay. Well, I suppose you think he will give you something for your family, but I tell you, and it shall surely be, when an old man like you, who should know better, talks a young one over till he becomes troublesome. In the first place, his young friend will only fare so much the worse. He will take nothing by it, for the suitors will prevent this. And in the next, we will lay a heavier fine, sir, upon yourself than you will at all like paying, for it will bear hardly upon you. As for Telemachus, I warn him, in the presence of you all, to send his mother back to her father, who will find her a husband and provide her with all the marriage gifts so dear a daughter may expect. Till then, we shall go on harassing him with our suit, for we fear no man, and care neither for him with all his fine speeches, nor for any fortune-telling of yours. Oh, you may preach as much as you please, but we shall only hate you the more. We shall go back and continue to eat up Telemachus's estate without paying him, till such time as his mother leaves off tormenting us by keeping us day after day on the tiptoe of expectation, each vying with the other in his suit for a prize of such rare perfection. Besides, we cannot go after the other women whom we should marry in due course, but for the way in which she treats us. Okay, question. Why does Penelope need to get remarried? Is it like illegal for her to not be married? Is it illegal? Like, even if Odysseus was dead, is it like illegal for her to be a widow? Hi, Rat Boy. I don't know what the laws were. It just seems crazy. Or is it that she keeps, has she been saying like, yes, I will choose someone, but she's putting it off because she wants Odysseus to come home, but she's keeping that door open because if he doesn't come home, like if they learn for sure that he's dead, then she doesn't want to be a widow. She has no legal rule over Ithaca if her husband is dead. Well, sure, but wouldn't that be the same even if she... Because it seems like whoever marries her is not inheriting Odysseus' estate, actually. That goes to Telemachus. Because they're saying send her back to her dad. So, assumedly, whoever she married, she would move into their household. The threat is violence. But what I'm asking is, are they just being greedy, or is it literally, like, illegal? Telemachus is a child. He cannot own land yet. How old is he? It makes him sound like a young man. Like, I don't know. I would have guessed he's like at least 17, which would have been like adult at that time, right? Okay. Then Telemachus said, Eurymachus, and you other suitors, I shall say no more, and entreat you no further, for the gods and the people of Ithaca now know my story. Give me then a ship and a crew of 20 men to to take me hither and thither, and I will go to Sparta and to Pylos in quest of my father who has so long been missing. Someone may tell me something, or, and people often hear things in this way, some heaven-sent message may direct me. If I can hear of him as alive and on his way home, I will put up with the waste you suitors will make for yet another 12 months. If, on the other hand, I hear of his death, I will return at once, celebrate his funeral rites with all due pomp, build a barrow to his memory, and make my mother marry again. With these words, he sat down, and Mentor, who had been a friend of Odysseus and had been left in charge of everything with full authority over the servants, rose to speak. He then, plainly and in all honesty, addressed them thus. Hear me, men of Ithaca. I hope that you may never have a kind and well-disposed ruler any more, nor one who will govern you equitably. I hope that all your chiefs henceforward may be cruel and unjust, for there is not one of you but has forgotten Odysseus, who ruled you as though he were your father. I'm not half so angry with the suitors, for if they choose to do violence in the naughtiness of their hearts, and wager their heads that Odysseus will not return, they can take the high hand and eat up his estate. But as for you others, I am shocked at the way in which you all sit still, without even trying to stop such scandalous goings-on, which you could do if you chose. For you are many, and they are few. Leocrides, son of Evenor, answered him, saying, Mentor, what folly is all this, that you should set the people to stay us? It is a hard thing for one man to fight with many about his victuals, even though Odysseus himself were to set upon us while we are feasting in his house, and do his best to oust us. His wife, who wants him back so very badly, would have small cause for rejoicing, and his blood would be upon his own head if he fought against such great odds. Jesus! These dudes suck. Moreover, they're a bunch of fucking hobosexuals that are just bumming off Telemachus. They're sitting on their lazy asses for like over 3 years now, eating someone else's food. Why don't you go make something of yourself? Do some work. Earn a living. Earn a name for yourself. They're a bunch of lazy stooges. Sorry. But not sorry. There is no sense in what you've been saying. Now, therefore, do you people go about your business and let his father's old friends, Mentor and Halitherses, speed this boy on his journey, if he goes at all, which I do not think he will, for he is more likely to stay where he is till someone comes and tells him something. On this, he broke up the assembly, and every man went back to his own abode, while the suitors returned to the house of Odysseus. Then Telemachus went all alone by the seaside, washed his hands in the grey waves, and prayed to Athena. Hear me, he cried, you god who visited me yesterday, and bade me sail the seas in search of my father, who has so long been missing. I would obey you, but the Achaeans, and more particularly the wicked suitors, are hindering me, that I cannot do so. As he thus prayed, Athena came close up to him, in the likeness and with the voice of Mentor. Telemachus, said she, if you are made of the same stuff as your father, you will be neither fool nor coward henceforward. For Odysseus never broke his word, nor left his work half done. If then you take after him, your voyage will not be fruitless. But unless you have the blood of Odysseus and of Penelope in your veins, I see no likelihood of you succeeding. Sons are seldom as good men as their fathers. They are generally worse, not better. Still, as you are not going to be either fool or coward henceforward, and are not entirely without some share of your father's wise discernment, I look with hope upon your undertaking. But mind you never make common cause with any of those foolish suitors, for they have neither sense nor virtue, and give no thought to death and to the doom that will shortly fall on one and all of them, so that they shall perish on the same day. As for your voyage, it shall not be long delayed. Your father was such an old friend of mine that I will find you a ship, and will come with you myself. Now, however, return home, and go about among the suitors. Begin getting provisions ready for your voyage. See everything well stowed, the wine in jars, and the barley meal, which is the staff of life, in leathern bags, while I go round the town and beat up volunteers at once. Did that mean, like, gather? He's not just going around and punching people into volunteering. He's voluntelling them. They've been voluntold. There are many ships in Ithaca, both old and new. I will run my eye over them for you, and will choose the best. We will get her ready, and will put out to sea without delay. Thus spoke Athena, daughter of Zeus, and Telemachus lost no time in doing as the goddess told him. Wait, does he know that that was Athena, or does he think that was Mentor? And does he think that Mentor's coming with him, or does he think that Athena's coming with him? I'm a little confused by this, because when Athena first came in the guise of Mentees, who's a different person, it seemed like he thought that it was actually Mentees, but now when he's praying, he was saying, he was washing his hands, and he's like, to the god who was with me yesterday. So he did realize it was Athena? I don't know. Anyway. Thus spoke Athena, daughter of Zeus. And Telemachus lost no time in doing as the goddess told him. He went moodily home and found the suitors flaying goats and singeing pigs in the outer court. Like for funsies? What? Seems a little extra. Antinous came up to him at once and laughed as he took his hand in his own, saying, Telemachus, my fine fire-eater, bear no more ill blood, neither in word nor deed, but eat and drink with us as you used to do. The Achaeans will find you in everything, a ship and a picked crew to boot, so that you can set sail for Pylos at once and get news of your noble father. Antinous, answered Telemachus, I cannot eat in peace, nor take pleasure of any kind with such men as you are. Was it not enough that you should waste so much good property of mine while I was yet a boy? Now that I am older and know more about it, I am also stronger, and whether here among this people or by going to Pylos, I will do you all the harm I can. I shall go, and my going will not be in vain, though thanks to you, suitors, I have neither ship nor crew of my own, and must be passenger, not captain." As he spoke, he snatched his hand from that of Antinous. Meanwhile, the others went on, getting dinner ready about the buildings, jeering at him tauntingly as they did so. "Telemachus," said one youngster, "means to be the death of us. I suppose he thinks he can bring friends to help him from Pylos, or again from Sparta, where he seems bent on going. Or will he go to Ephyra as well, for poison to put in our wine and kill us?" I hate these guys so much. Damn. Phylos, did I say that right? Like, they're really irritating. Phylos, okay. Oh, no, wait, no. No, sorry, I was looking up Ephyra. I was trying to look up Ephyra. Towns? Yeah, can you imagine being in a town that's like, they're famous just for their poison? Ephyra. Or will he go to Ephyra as well, for poison to put in our wine and kill us? Another said, "Perhaps if Telemachus goes on board ship, he will be like his father and perish far from his friends. In this case, we should have plenty to do, for we could then divide up his property amongst us. As for the house, we can let his mother and the man who marries her have that." This was how they talked. But Telemachus went down into the lofty and spacious storeroom, where his father's treasure of gold and bronze lay heaped up upon the floor, and where the linen and spare clothes were kept in open chests. Bro, I would lock up everything with these dudes living in the house. You're leaving your gold in accessible piles on the floor? Like, common sense, I don't know. Put it in a locked chest. Here, too, there was a store of fragrant olive oil, while casks of old, well-ripened wine, unblended and fit for a god to drink, were ranged against the wall, in case Odysseus should come home again, after all. The room was closed with well-made doors, opening in the middle. Moreover, the faithful old housekeeper, Euryclea, daughter of Ops, the son of Pisenor, I keep forgetting, the son of Pisenor, was in charge of everything, both night and day. Telemachus called her to the storeroom and said, "Nurse, draw me off some of the best wine you have, after what you are keeping for my father's own drinking, in case, poor man, he should escape death and find his way home again after all. Let me have 12 jars, and see that they all have lids. Also, fill me some well-sewn leathern bags with barley meal, about 20 measures in all. Get these things put together at once, and say nothing about it. I will take everything away this evening, as soon as my mother has gone upstairs for the night. I am going to Sparta and to Pylos to see if I can hear anything about the return of my dear father." When Euryclea heard this, she began to cry and spoke fondly to him, saying, "Oh, my dear child, whatever can have put such notion as that into your head? Where in the world do you want to go to? You, who are the one hope of the house. Your poor father is dead and gone in some foreign country, nobody knows where. And as soon as your back is turned, these wicked ones here will be scheming to get you put out of the way, and will share all your possessions among themselves. Stay where you are among your own people, and do not go wandering and worrying your life out on the barren ocean." Fear not, nurse, answered Telemachus. My scheme is not without heaven's sanction. But swear that you will say nothing about all this to my mother till I have been away some 10 or 12 days, unless she hears of my having gone and asks you. I do not want to spoil her beauty by crying. The old woman swore most solemnly that she would not, and when she had completed her oath, she began drawing off the wine into jars and getting the barley meal into the bags, while Telemachus went back to the suitors. Then Athena bethought her of another matter. She took his shape and went round the town to each one of the crew, telling them to meet at the ship by sundown. She went also to Noman. Noemon. She went also to Noemon, son of Phronius, and asked him to let her have a ship, which he was very ready to do. When the sun had set and darkness was over all the land, she got the ship into the water, put all the tackle on board her that ships generally carry, and stationed her at the end of the harbor. Presently the crew came up, and the goddess spoke encouragingly to each of them. Furthermore, she went to the house of Odysseus and threw the suitors into a deep slumber. She caused their drink to fuddle them and made them drop their cups from their hands, so that instead of sitting over their wine, they went back into the town to sleep, with their eyes heavy and full of drowsiness. Then she took the form and voice of Mentor and called Telemachus to come outside. Hiya, no. Thanks for watching over on the YouTube. Telemachus, said she, the men are on board and at their oars, waiting for you to give your orders. So make haste, and let us be off. On this, she led the way, while Telemachus followed in her steps. When they got to the ship, they found the crew waiting by the waterside, and Telemachus said, Now, my men, help me to get the stores on board. They are all put together in the cloister, and my mother does not know anything about it, nor any of the maidservants, except one. What? Banana gifted a sub to Bananaceous? Bananaceous? How would one say that? Bananaceous? Bananzius. Thank you, Banana. Thank you for the gift sub. Wait, is that one of your alts, or is that another banana in the wild? Bananaceous. Banana Sue? Yeah. Some random from the Bananaverse. Sure. Yeah. Bananadian? Alright. With these words, he led the way, and the others followed him. When they had brought the things as he told them, Telemachus went on board, Athena going before him and taking her seat in the stern of the vessel, while Telemachus sat beside her. Then the men loosed the hawsers and took their places on the benches. Athena sent them a fair wind from the west that whistled over the deep blue waves, whereon Telemachus told them to catch hold of the ropes and hoist sail, and they did as he told them. They set the mast in its socket in the crossplank, raised it, and made it fast with the forestays. Then they hoisted their white sails aloft with ropes of twisted oxhide. As the sail bellied out with the wind, the ship flew through the deep blue water, and the foam hissed against her bows as she sped onward. Then they made all fast throughout the ship, filled the mixing bowls to the brim, and made drink offerings to the immortal gods that are from everlasting, but more particularly to the gray-eyed daughter of Zeus. Thus, then, the ship sped on her way through the watches of the night, from dark till dawn. End of book 2. Yay! I am so glad we don't have to deal with the f***ing suitors anymore in the story. Hopefully. At least for a while. Hell yeah. Don't. Look, they're not on board the ship. At least this next chapter. You know what? We'll see. We'll see. Hooray for gray-eyed goddesses. I feel like gray eyes are underrated, really. End of book 2. Hell yeah. Now, I do want to read let's read book 3, but I'm just going to take a couple minutes to stand up and stretch my spine. Can I just ask, though, am I interrupting too much? Because I've got kind of like 2 interruptions going on. One to double check pronunciation, which I do want to pronounce things, close to correct. But also, I've been having feelings. It's fun? Okay. Okay, yes, I'm gonna stretch. I offer you guinea pigs to look at. Don't touch them. They're just for looking at. I'll be back. Hello. Yep, they were having a little dominance dance. They were doing some rumble strutting. Nimbus? Nim! Yeah, stop! She doesn't like that. You didn't touch them? I know. All the bad touch is coming from Nim. Oh, look, she is doing the stamps right now. Got her front half fully in the bowl. That's how you eat food. You get your upper body fully into the bowl. Okay. Alright. We are getting ready. That was not a guinea pig, that was the Mio. That's the squeal there. That's how you do it? Yeah. That's how you really appreciate food. What's the blub called under Nim's chin? It's called a dewlap. D-E-W-L-A-P, a dewlap. Rabbits have them too. It's great. It's a portable pillow. You want a dewlap? I mean, people pretty much can get them, but we just call them chins. Oh my goodness, you guys. Are you gonna be problematic throughout this reading? Oh, Cloud is pissed off. I don't blame her. Is this gonna be a problem? Is the background audio of the Odyssey just gonna be full of rumbling and squeaking? God, Nim is just so Pooh Bear coated. Look at her. Look at her shape. She's just Winnie the Pooh. Like, she's just an absolute dumpling. She's gonna get stuck in a honey pot, you know? What are you talking about, Fidge? Totally fine if you need to go to bed, though. Also, Brother Shinran, hi! Hello. Where's Buddha? Did Buddha go to bed? Just because it's late. Okay. That's totally fine then. You enjoy being a problem. I know you do. I know you do. Thank you, Fidge. Thanks for hanging out. I think he did too. Yeah, but Buddha doesn't generally last throughout the whole reading. Okay. Also Jane. Wait. Do we have anyone moderating over on the YouTube? Jane, you're just on your phone, right? So, that's okay. It should probably be fine. There's not a lot happening over there. Okay. It is pretty well behaved. But you never know with YouTube. YouTube has the wild cards. And once we're able to start doing the vertical streaming, then you're gonna cut loose over there, Banana? We riot. Oh no. Yeah. But Jane, also, please don't stay up later than is comfortable for you. Yes. I may need to look into modding someone who is reliably awake during like the later portions of the streams, because I absolutely adore my mod team. And I don't want them to push themselves to stay up later than is comfortable or healthy for them. But Nim! 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 Take a fucking hint. Yeah, sometimes Sean is up really late, and then sometimes Sean is sleeping the whole time. No, it's totally fine. Genuinely, I want my mods to sleep like when they need to sleep. Obviously, I don't think he's been in here tonight, but he did say that might happen. So yeah, Nim is giving real suitor energy. Yeah, it's true. All right, she's gone to the hay bin. Hopefully, she'll be distracted with that for a while. Okay, let's dive back in. Lemon's that's away. Can I lemon's that? Okay. She's eating hay so noisily. Sorry. They're just doing their own things, but Nim is somehow managing to be like so noisy with the hay. She's got big brat energy tonight. Okay. Book 3. Telemachus visits Nestor at Pylos. What the hell? This starts like mid-sentence. What? Huh? It starts literally mid-sentence, like without even a capital letter. Am I missing something? Let me just open up in the browser. No, it does that. It starts with, but as the sun was rising, but the but isn't even capitalized. So it's a lowercase but. Is it a name? Nope. I hate it when it's not a capital but. Alright. Sorry. Okay. But as the sun was rising from the fair sea into the firmament of heaven to shed light on mortals and immortals, they reached Pylos, the city of Neleus. Neleus? We're gonna find out. Neleus. They reached Pylos, the city of Neleus. Now, the people of Pylos were gathered on the seashore to offer sacrifice of black bulls to Poseidon, lord of the earthquake. There were 9 guilds with 500 men in each, and there were 9 bulls to each guild. As they were eating the inward meats and burning the thigh bones on the embers in the name of Poseidon, Telemachus and his crew arrived, furled their sails, brought their ship to anchor, and went ashore. Oh, Buddha, you are awake. We all surmised that you'd gone to bed. Athena led the way, and Telemachus followed her. Okay, she's still disguised as the older man named Mentor. Presently she said, Telemachus, you must not be in the least shy or nervous. You have taken this voyage to try and find out where your father is buried, and how he came by his end. So, go straight up to Nestor, that we may see what he has got to tell us. Beg of him to speak the truth, and he will tell no lies, for he is an excellent person. No, help, Jane's falling apart. The Wask, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I'm sorry. Are you upset that they're eating the inward meats? But how, Mentor, replied Telemachus, dare I go up to Nestor? And how am I to address him? I've never yet been used to holding long conversations with people, and am ashamed to begin questioning one who is so much older than myself. Some things, Telemachus, answered Athena, will be suggested to you by your own instinct, and heaven will prompt you further, for I am assured that the gods have been with you from the time of your birth until now. She then went quickly on, and Telemachus followed in her steps till they reached the place where the guilds of the Pylian people were assembled. There they found Nestor, sitting with his sons, while the company round him were busy getting dinner ready and putting pieces of meat onto the spits, while other pieces were cooking. When they saw the strangers, they crowded round them, took them by the hand, and bade them take their places. Nestor's son, Pisistratus, let me double check. I'm sure it's pronounced better than that.
Pisistratus.
Pisistratus, okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. Pisistratus, okay. Nestor's son, Pisistratus, at once offered his hand to each of them, and seated them on some soft sheepskins that were lying on the sands near his father and his brother Thrasymedes. That's fine, I'm sure. Thrasymedes. Then he gave them their portions of the inward meats, and poured wine for them into a golden cup. Jane's gonna break. Jane's struggling. It's okay. I can keep it together. You guys will not be able to break me. Then he gave them their portions of the inward meats, and poured wine for them into a golden cup, handing it to Athena first and saluting her at the same time. Offer a prayer, sir, said he, to King Poseidon, for it is his feast that you are joining. When you have duly prayed and made your drink offering, pass the cup to your friend, that he may do so also. I doubt not that he too lifts his hands in prayer, for man cannot live without God in the world. Still, he is younger than you are, and is much of an age with myself, so I will give you the precedence. Hi, Perilla. As he spoke, he handed her the cup. Athena thought it very right and proper of him to have given it to herself first. She accordingly began praying heartily to Poseidon. O thou, she cried, that encirclest the earth, vouchsafe to grant the prayers of thy servants that call upon thee. More especially, we pray thee, send down thy grace on Nestor and on his sons. Thereafter also make the rest of the Pylian people some handsome return for the goodly hecatomb they are offering you. Lastly, grant Telemachus and myself a happy issue in respect of the matter that has brought us in our ship to Pylos. When she had thus made an end of praying, she handed the cup to Telemachus, and he prayed likewise. By and by, when the outer meats were roasted and had been taken off the spits, the carvers gave every man his portion, and they all made an excellent dinner. As soon as they had had enough to eat and drink, Nestor, knight of Gerene, like the outer meats would be like normal, like muscle meat cuts, right? The inner meats would be like awful organ grind stuff, right? I'm saying awful like OFFAL. Like a hot dog. The shit that goes in your hot dogs. That's when you're eating the inner meats. Gerenian, so gerene. Okay. As soon as they had had enough to eat and drink, Nestor, knight of Gerene, began to speak. Not awful. Awful. Offal? Is it pronounced offal? I've heard both. I've genuinely heard both. I actually like a bit of organ grind. Depends on if you're Canadian. Yeah, I'm sure it varies by accent. I've heard butchers say awful, so I was going to at least assume it's not wrong, but they might both be correct. You've heard boful? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, is Nestor, how old is Nestor? How old do I make his voice? Or is he like a stout and musty man? I knew Fal liked a little organ grind. What do you mean by that? Do we know how old Nestor is? I don't know. Okay. No, well, Nestor's there. He's a knight, and he's there with all of his sons. In ancient times, 30 would have been considered elderly. Alright. Alright. Okay. Now, said he, that our guests have done their dinner, it will be best to ask them who they are. Who then, sir strangers, are you? And from what port have you sailed? Are you traders? Or do you sail the seas as rovers with your hand against every man, and every man's hand against you? Telemachus answered boldly, for Athena had given him courage to ask about his father and get himself a good name. Nestor, said he, son of Neleus, honor to the Achaean name. You ask whence we come, and I will tell you. We come from Ithaca, under Naritum, and the matter about which I would speak is of private, not public import. I seek news of my unhappy father, Odysseus, who is said to have sacked the town of Troy in company with yourself. We know what fate befell each one of the other heroes who fought at Troy, but as regards Odysseus, heaven has hidden from us the knowledge, even that he is dead at all, for no one can certify us in what place he perished, nor say whether he fell in battle on the mainland or was lost at sea amid the waves of Amphitrite. Therefore I am suppliant at your knees, if haply you may be pleased to tell me of his melancholy end, whether you saw it with your own eyes, or heard it from some other traveler, for he was a man born to trouble. Do not soften things out of any pity for me, but tell me, in all plainness, exactly what you saw. If my brave father Odysseus ever did you loyal service, either by word or deed, when you Achaeans were harnessed among the Trojans, bear it in mind now, as in my favor, and tell me truly all. He's like, so this is kind of private, not public, and then just says it all in public anyways. Hi Moonstar, good to see you again. Oh no, my solo mod is going rogue. She's out here telling chatters they're dumb or lying. Ayub Gara, am I saying that right? Welcome and thank you for the follow. Hello, hello. Welcome into my... Oh, man. Okay. Oh, Jane is a gem. Okay. My friend, answered Nestor, you recall a time of much sorrow to my mind, for the brave Achaeans suffered much, both at sea, while privateering under Achilles, or while fighting before the great city of King Priam. Is it Priam? It is Priam, right? Not Priam? Or am I wrong? A heartbreaking work of staggering genius.
Priam.
Oh, it is Priam. Okay. Or when fighting before the great city of King Priam. Our best men, all of them, fell there. Ajax, Achilles, Patroclus, peer of gods in council, and my own dear son, Antilochus, a man singularly fleet of foot and in fight valiant. But we suffered much more than this. What mortal tongue indeed could tell the whole story? Though you were to stay here and question me for 5 years, or even 6, I could not tell you all that the Achaeans suffered, and you would turn homeward weary of my tale before it ended. 9 long years did we try every kind of stratagem, but the hand of heaven was against us. During all this time there was no one who could compare with your father in subtlety. If indeed you are his son, I can hardly believe my eyes. And you talk just like him too. No one would say that people of such different ages could speak so much alike. He and I never had any kind of difference, from first till last, neither in camp nor council. But in singleness of heart and purpose we advised the Argives how all might be ordered for the best. When, however, we had sacked the city of Priam, and were setting sail in our ships as heaven had dispersed us, then Zeus saw fit to vex the Argives on their homeward journey, for they had not all been either wise or understanding, and hence many came to a bad end through the displeasure of Zeus's daughter Athena, who brought about a quarrel between the two sons of Atreus. Now the sons of Atreus called for a meeting, which was not as it should be, for it was sunset and the Achaeans were heavy with wine. When they explained why they had called the people together, it seemed that Menelaus was for sailing homeward at once, and this displeased Agamemnon, who thought that we should wait till we had offered hecatombs to appease the anger of Athena. Fool that he was, he might have known that he would not prevail with her, for when the gods have made up their minds, they do not change them lightly. So the two stood bandying hard words, whereupon the Achaeans sprang to their feet with a cry that rent the air, and were of two minds as to what they should do. This poor dude doesn't realize he's telling this story in front of Athena. Athena's standing right there. That night we rested and nursed our anger, for Zeus was hatching mischief against us. But in the morning some of us drew our ships into the water and put our goods with our women on board, while the rest, about half in number, stayed behind with Agamemnon. We, the other half, embarked and sailed, and the ships went well, for heaven had smoothed the sea. When we reached Tenedos, oh wait, it's not hecatombs like that. It would be hecatombs, I guess. I don't know. It's spelled like T-O-M-B. Hecatombs? Tenedos, okay. When we reached Tenedos, we offered sacrifices to the gods, for we were longing to get home. Cruel Zeus, however, did not yet mean that we should do so, and raised a second quarrel, in the course of which some among us turned their ships back again, and sailed away under Odysseus to make their peace with Agamemnon. But I, and all the ships that were with me, pressed forward, for I saw that mischief was brewing. Oh, there's a name in here that's not in the list. Tydeus? 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 Hi, Potato, welcome back. Tydeus? Titty sus? Oh, is it? Glad you guys have my back. The son of Tydeus went on also with me, and his crews with him. Later on, Menelaus joined us at Lesbos, and found us making up our minds about our course, for we did not know whether to go outside Chios by the island of Syra, keeping this to our left, or inside Chios, over against the stormy headland of Mimas. So we asked heaven for a sign, and were shown one to the effect that we should be soonest out of danger if we headed our ships across the open sea to Euboea. Euboea.
Euboea.
Euboea. Okay, this is why I check. If we headed our ships across the open sea to Euboea. This we therefore did, and a fair wind sprang up which gave us a quick passage during the night to Gerestus. I'm sorry, guys. Geristus, which gave us a quick passage during the night. Which gave us a quick passage during the night to Geristus, where we offered many sacrifices to Poseidon for having helped us so far on our way. 4 days later, Diomed and his men stationed their ships in Argos, but I held on for Pylos, and the wind never fell light from the day when heaven first made it fair for me. Therefore, my dear young friend, I returned without hearing anything about the others. I know neither who got home safely, nor who were lost, but, as in duty bound, I will give you, without reserve, the reports that have reached me since I have been here in my own house. They say the Myrmidons returned home safely under Achilles' son, Neoptolemus. Neoptolemus ice cream.
Neoptolemus.
Oh, I was right. Hell yeah. They say the Myrmidons returned home safely under Achilles' son, Neoptolemus. So also did the valiant son of Poias, Philoctetes. Idomeneus again lost no men at sea, and all his followers who escaped death in the field got safe home with him to Crete. No matter how far out of the world you live, you will have heard of Agamemnon, and the bad end he came to at the hands of Aegisthus, and a fearful reckoning did Aegisthus presently pay. See what a good thing it is for a man to leave a son behind him, to do as Orestes did, who killed false Aegisthus, the murderer of his noble father. You too, then, for you are a tall, smart-looking fellow. Show your mettle, and make yourself a name in story. Nestor, son of Neleus, answered Telemachus, honor to the Achaean name. The Achaeans applaud Orestes, and his name will live through all time, for he has avenged his father nobly. Would that heaven might grant me to do like vengeance on the insolence of the wicked suitors who are ill-treating me and plotting my ruin. But the gods have no such happiness in store for me and for my father, so we must bear it as best we may. My friend, said Nestor, now that you remind me, I remember to have heard that your mother has many suitors. Damn it, Chompy. Oh, Jane. Dude, Aegisthus is such a terrible name in the mouth. It is very unpleasant to say. No, try it. Try it. I want all of you sitting alone at home to just be going, Aegisthus. 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 Okay. I remember to have heard that your mother has many suitors who are ill-disposed towards you and are making havoc of your estate. Do you submit to this tamely? Or are public feeling and the voice of heaven against you? Who knows but what Odysseus may come back after all, and pay these scoundrels in full, either single-handed or with a force of Achaeans behind him. If Athena were to take as great a liking to you, as she did to Odysseus when we were fighting before Troy, for I never yet saw the gods so openly fond of anyone as Athena then was of your father. If she would take as good care of you as she did of him, these wooers would soon, some of them, forget their wooing. Terrible mouthfeel? Yeah. It feels like putting cotton balls in my mouth. Yeah. Hi, Duke. Hello. Hello, hello. This is so funny because Athena, hold on. Athena is standing right there. But neither of these men talking about Athena know that this is Athena. They just think it's Mentor. On this, Athena said, Telemachus, what are you talking about? Heaven has a long arm if it is minded to save a man. And if it were me, I should not care how much I suffered before getting home, provided I could be safe when I was once there. I would rather this than get home quickly, and then be killed in my own house as Agamemnon was, by the treachery of Aegisthus and his wife. Still, death is certain, and when a man's hour is come, not even the gods can save him, no matter how fond they are of him. Mentor, answered Telemachus, do not let us talk about it any more. There is no chance of my father's ever coming back. The gods have long since counseled his destruction. There is something else, however, about which I should like to ask Nestor, for he knows much more than anyone else does. They say he has reigned for 3 generations, so that it is like talking to an immortal. Tell me, therefore, Nestor, and tell me true, what was Menelaus doing, and how came false Aegisthus to kill so far better a man than himself? Was Menelaus away from Achaean Argos, voyaging elsewhither among mankind, that Aegisthus took heart and killed Agamemnon? I will tell you truly, answered Nestor, and indeed you have yourself divined how it all happened. If Menelaus, when he got back from Troy, had found Aegisthus still alive in his house, there would have been no barrow heaped up for him, not even when he was dead, but he would have been thrown outside the city to dogs and vultures, and not a woman would have mourned him, for he had done a deed of great wickedness. But we were over there, fighting hard at Troy, and Aegisthus, who was taking his ease quietly in the heart of Argos, cajoled Agamemnon's wife, Clytemnestra, with incessant flattery. At first she would have nothing to do with his wicked scheme, for she was of a good natural disposition. Moreover, there was a bard with her, to whom Agamemnon had given strict orders on setting out for Troy, that he was to keep guard over his wife. But when heaven had counseled her destruction, Aegisthus carried this bard off to a desert island, and left him there for crows and seagulls to batten upon, after which he went willingly enough to the house of Aegisthus. Then he offered many burnt sacrifices to the gods, and decorated many temples with tapestries and gilding, for he had succeeded far beyond his expectations. Meanwhile, Menelaus and I were on our way home from Troy, on good terms with one another, when we got to Sunium, which is the point of Athens. Apollo, with his painless shafts, killed Phrontis, the steersman of Menelaus' ship, and never man knew better how to handle a vessel in rough weather, so that he died then and there, with the helm in his hand, and Menelaus, the very anxious to press forward, had to wait in order to bury his comrade and give him his due funeral rites. Presently, when he too could put to sea again, and had sailed on as far as the Malayan heads, Zeus counseled evil against him, and made it blow hard till the waves ran mountains high. Here he divided his fleet, and took the one half towards Crete, where the Sidonians dwell round about the waters of the river Iardanus. Hi, Ozzy. Hello, how are you doing? Iardanus? It's not in here. Iardanus? About the waters of the river Iardanus. There is a high headland hereabouts, stretching out into the sea from a place called Gorton, and all along this part of the coast as far as Festus. Ilk. Festus. And all along this part of the coast, as far as Festus, the sea runs high when there is a south wind blowing. But after Festus, the coast is more protected, for a small headland can make great shelter. Here this part of the fleet was driven onto the rocks and wrecked, but the crews just managed to save themselves. As for the other 5 ships, they were taken by winds and seas to Egypt, where Menelaus gathered much gold and substance among people of an alien speech. Meanwhile, Aegisthus, here at home, plotted his evil deed. For 7 years after he had killed Agamemnon, he ruled. Wait, didn't I just look this up? Mycenae? I just looked it up, didn't I? God damn. It's a lot to keep everything in mind.
Mycenae.
Oh, wait, that's Mycenae. That would be like the people, but this is just the place. Mycene, I'm guessing. Mycene. For 7 years after he had killed Agamemnon, he ruled in Mycene, and the people were obedient under him. But in the 8th year, Orestes came back from Athens to be his bane, and killed the murderer of his father. Then he celebrated the funeral rites of his mother and of false Aegisthus by a banquet to the people of Argos. And on that very day Menelaus came home with as much treasure as his ships could carry. Take my advice then, and do not go traveling about for long, so far from home, nor leave your property with such dangerous people in your house. They will eat up everything you have among them, and you will have been on a fool's errand. Still, I should advise you by all means to go and visit Menelaus, who has lately come off a voyage among such distant peoples as no man could ever hope to get back from, when the winds had once carried him so far out of his reckoning. Even birds cannot fly the distance in a 12-month, so vast and terrible are the seas that they must cross. Go to him, therefore, by sea, and take your own men with you. Or if you would rather travel by land, you can have a chariot. You can have horses. And here are my sons who can escort you to Lacedaemon. It's spelled like lace demon. But that is probably not how it's pronounced. And it's not in here? It's not in the list? Lace demon? Lace demon? Lacedaemon? I'm gonna look up the pronunciation. Oh. It's Sparta. It's it's what Sparta used to be called. Well, Lacedaemon. Lacedaemon. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay. And here are my sons who can escort you to Lacedaemon, where Menelaus lives. Beg of him to speak the truth, and he will tell you no lies, for he is an excellent person. Are we having any troubles over on the YouTube? Okay, it was lagging on my browser. Just want to check it's running smoothly for you guys. As he spoke, the sun set, and it came on dark. Whereon Athena said, "Sir, all that you have said is well. Now, however, order the tongues of the victims to be cut, and mix wine, that we may make drink offerings to Poseidon and the other immortals, and then go to bed, for it is bedtime. People should go away early and not keep late hours at a religious festival." So weird doing Athena's voice as like a man voice, but I have to assume she's using a man voice since they think she's a man. Thus spoke the daughter of Zeus, and they obeyed her, saying, Men servants poured water over the hands of the guests, while pages filled the mixing bowls with wine and water, and handed it round after giving every man his drink offering. Then they threw the tongues of the victims into the fire, and stood up to make their drink offerings. When they had made their offerings and had drunk each as much as he was minded, Athena and Telemachus were for going on board their ship. But Nestor caught them up at once and stayed them. "Heaven and the immortal gods," he exclaimed, "forbid that you should leave my house to go on board of a ship. Do you think that I am so poor and short of clothes, or that I have so few cloaks, and as to be unable to find comfortable beds, both for myself and for my guests. Let me tell you, I have store both of rugs and cloaks, and shall not permit the son of my old friend Odysseus to camp down on the deck of a ship. Not will I live, nor yet will my sons after me, but they will keep open house as I have done. Then Athena answered, Sir, you have spoken well, and it will be much better that Telemachus should do as you have said. He, therefore, shall return with you and sleep at your house. But I must go back to give orders to my crew and keep them in good heart. I am the only older person among them. The rest are all young men of Telemachus's own age, who have taken this voyage out of friendship. So I must return to the ship and sleep there. Moreover, tomorrow I must go to the Cauconians, where I have a large sum of money long owing to me. As for Telemachus, now that he is your guest, send him to Lacedaemon in a chariot, and let one of your sons go with him. Be pleased to also provide him with your best and fleetest horses. When she had thus spoken, she flew away in the form of an eagle, and all marveled as they beheld it. Wait, so she keeps pretending to be men, but then just turning into an eagle and flying away, and then they're like, oh shit, it was Athena again. Like, what? Okay. Nestor was astonished and took Telemachus by the hand. My friend, said he, I see that you are going to be a great hero some day, since the gods wait upon you thus while you are still so young. This can have been none other of those who dwell in heaven than Zeus's redoubtable daughter, the Trito-born, who shewed such favor towards your brave father among the Argives. Holy Queen, he continued, vouchsafe to send down thy grace upon myself, my good wife, and my children. In return, I will offer you in sacrifice a broad-browed heifer of a year old, unbroken, and never yet brought by man under the yoke. I will gild her horns and will offer her up to you in sacrifice. Thus did he pray, and Athena heard his prayer. He then led the way to his own house, followed by his sons and sons-in-law. When they had got there and had taken their places on the benches and seats, he mixed them a bowl of sweet wine that was 11 years old when the housekeeper took the lid off the jar that held it. As he mixed the wine, he prayed much and made drink offerings to Athena, daughter of Aegis-bearing Zeus. Then, when they had made their drink offerings and had drunk each as much as he was minded, the others went home to bed, each in his own abode. But Nestor put Telemachus to sleep in the room that was over the gateway, along with Pisistratus, who was the only unmarried son now left him. As for himself, he slept in an inner room of the house, with the queen, his wife, by his side. Now, when the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn, appeared, Nestor left his couch and took his seat on the benches of white and polished marble that stood in front of his house. Here aforetime sat Neleus, peer of gods in council, but he was now dead and had gone to the house of Hades. So Nestor sat in his seat, scepter in hand, as guardian of the public weal. His sons, as they left their rooms, gathered round him. Oh, Christ. Okay. Why do you have so many sons with fancy names? We're here to learn.
Ecaphon.
Ecaphron. Ecaphron, Stratius, Perseus, Aratus, and Thrasymedes. The sixth son was Pisistratus. And when Telemachus joined them, they made him sit with them. Nestor then addressed them. "My sons," said he, "make haste to do as I shall bid you. I wish, first and foremost, to propitiate the great goddess Athena, who manifested herself visibly to me during yesterday's festivities. Go then, one or other of you, to the plain. Tell the stockman to look me out a heifer, and come on here with it at once. Another must go to Telemachus's ship and invite all the crew, leaving 2 men only in charge of the vessel. Someone else will run and fetch this other dude. Like, his name literally looks like Pissy Stratus. It's not a great name. It's not a great name. Laertius. Okay. Someone else will run and fetch Laertius, the goldsmith, to gild the horns of the heifer. The rest, stay all of you where you are. Tell the maids in the house to prepare an excellent dinner, and to fetch seats and logs of wood for a burnt offering. Tell them also to bring me some clear spring water." On this they hurried off on their several errands. The heifer was brought in from the plain, and Telemachus's crew came from the ship. The goldsmith brought the anvil, hammer, and tongs, with which he worked his gold, and Athena herself came to accept the sacrifice. Nestor gave out the gold, and the smith gilded the horns of the heifer, that the goddess might have pleasure in their beauty. Then Stratius and Ecaphron brought her in by the horns. Aratus fetched water from the house in a ewer that had a flower pat. Madam! But I'm reading. Nimbus! I changed your name from Nimbus Stratus to Pisistratus. We're good? We're good? Okay. Okay. Aratus fetched water from the house in a ewer that had a flower pattern on it, and in his other hand he held a basket of barley meal. Sturdy Thrasymedes stood by with a sharp axe, ready to strike the heifer, while Perseus held a bucket. Then Nestor began with washing his hands and sprinkling the barley meal, and he offered many a prayer to Athena as he threw a lock from the heifer's head upon the fire. When they had done praying and sprinkling the barley meal, Thrasymedes dealt his blow, and brought the heifer down with a stroke that cut through the tendons at the base of her neck, whereon the daughters and daughters-in-law of Nestor, and his venerable wife Eurydice, she was the eldest daughter to Clymenus. That's not in this list. Only Clytemnestra is. I don't know if it's Clymenus, Clymenus, anyways. She was the eldest daughter to Clymenus. Screamed with delight. Okay, Eurydice. You're a little too excited about this cow getting its head chopped off. What? Alright. Then they lifted the heifer's head from off the ground, and Pisistratus cut her throat. When she had done bleeding and was quite dead, they cut her up. They cut out the thigh bones all in due course, wrapped them round in 2 layers of fat, and set some pieces of raw meat on the top of them. Then Nestor laid them upon the wood fire and poured wine over them, while the young men stood near him with 5-pronged spits in their hands. When the thighs were burned and they had tasted the inward meats. When the thighs were burned and they had tasted. Stop it, guys, don't. I'm trying to keep it together. We are adults here, yes. When the thighs were burned and they had tasted the inward meats, they cut the rest of the meat up small, put the pieces on the spits, and toasted them over the fire. Gotta look up another name. What I don't understand is why this would be meaningful to a god. Like, I get that there's an act of sacrifice, and like, this was one of their fine heifers who, if they hadn't killed her, could have lived to like bear other young, you know. So it is a sacrifice in terms of like, that cow could have brought them more wealth. But then, I mean, they're just eating her anyways. It's like they're getting a good meal of, I don't know. Oh my god. Lemon Sled. Thank you for the 2 gift subs to Inward and Meats. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Polycasti. Okay. You're doing it. You certainly are. Meanwhile, lovely Polycasti, Nestor's youngest daughter, washed Telemachus. When she had washed him and anointed him with oil, she brought him a fair mantle and shirt, and he looked like a god as he came from the bath and took his seat by the side of Nestor. When the outer meats were done, they drew them off the spits and sat down to dinner, where they were waited upon by some worthy henchmen who kept pouring them out their wine in cups of gold. Nestor said, as soon as they had had enough to eat and drink, Nestor said, "Sons, put Telemachus's horses to the chariot, that he may start at once." Hi, NFS man, good to see you. Hello, hello. Thus did he speak. Cloud, right now, you don't need to be... You're trolling her. You're trying to get a response. What is that? Yeah, that's right. Back up. There you go. Hey, Fobdeed. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, I saw that, Cloud. I saw that. Thus did he speak. And they did even as he said. And they did even as he had said, and yoked the fleet horses to the chariot. The housekeeper packed them up a provision of bread, wine, and sweetmeats, fit for the sons of princes. Then Telemachus got into the chariot, while Pisistratus gathered up the reins and took his seat beside him. He lashed the horses on, and they flew forward, nothing loath, into the open country, leaving the high citadel of Pylos behind them. All that day did they travel, swaying the yoke upon their necks, till the sun went down and darkness was over all the land. Then they reached Pherae, where Diocles lived, who was son to Ortilochus and grandson to Alpheus. Here they passed the night, and Diocles entertained them hospitably. When the child of morning, rosy-fingered dawn, appeared, they again yoked their horses and drove out through the gateway under the echoing gatehouse. Pisistratus lashed the horses on, and they flew forward, nothing loath. Presently they came to the cornlands of the open country, and in the course of time completed their journey. So well did their steeds take them. Now, when the sun had set and darkness was over the land, it ends on a comma? I feel like something's missing here. This started with half a sentence and ended with half a sentence. What is happening? Okay, I'm gonna read from the. I'm not reading an excerpt. I'm reading this version that's been edited. Feels like something got clipped out here, but I'll read it from the browser here. Now the sun sank, and all the ways were darkened, and they came to Pherae, to the house of Diocles, son of Orsilochus, the child begotten of Alpheus. There they rested for the night, and by them he set the entertainment of strangers. Wait. Dude, I'm curious, Lemon Slut, did you use a different version? Then... Oh wait, maybe I'm reading the wrong version? Hold on. Let me... No. This version, this Gutenberg version, is like missing the end of the sentence. Yeah. No. I know. I'm double checking against the one that's linked. It ends this chapter with, now when the sun had set and darkness was over the land, comma. Wait, and then it goes into book 4. They reach the low wait. So he's put the chapter breaks between mid-sentence. No, it's not your fault. I would have to see a physical copy to see if this is like... But the chapter break is mid-sentence. You know what? So let's end it with, so well did their steeds take them. And when we start book 4, I will start it with the that sentence that's in the middle. I'd be very curious. You don't have to dig it out now, but I would be curious to know if this is something that's happened by accident in the Project Gutenberg scan, or if that was a stylistic choice that Samuel Butler made. It's not a big deal either way. And we figured out, no, Lemon Slut, you're all good. I wasn't sure if something had happened in it, but yeah, no, it's fine. It's still readable. It doesn't look like content is missing. That was just a very weird, it's a weird way to put it. If it's intentional, honestly, I kind of fuck with it. Just as like a bold stylistic move. But I don't know. We banned fluorescent light bulbs. Oh, I haven't heard of that. Honestly, now that they make LED lights that look like fluorescent lights. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Fluorescent lights are just garbo. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking incandescent. I like incandescent lights. Fluorescent lights just give everyone a headache. Yeah, fuck fluorescent lights. Incandescent are nice, but now that they make LEDs that can look like incandescent, I'm fine with it. Garbo. Okay, how are we doing? You guys. Okay, we got through 2 chapters. Thoughts about the story so far? I'm digging it. I hope it's not too annoying to you guys that I'm pausing to look up. I'm not even pausing for every name, and so I'm probably mispronouncing some things, but I'm trying to, like, as I go along and learn how more of them are pronounced, is giving me a better idea how to guess at the pronunciations as well, you know? Did you see the title and blurb you posted a little bit up? There's a whole academic book about the meats thing. No, I missed that. But I'm not surprised there's a whole academic thing about the meats thing. No, I mean, well, they mentioned, like, sweetmeats. Wait, aren't sweetmeats, like, brain? What am I thinking of? No. I'm thinking of, like, head cheese or something. What's sweetmeats? Oh, it can just mean a food rich in sugar? It can just be like a candy? Oh no, I'm thinking of sweet bread. Sweet bread is the pancreas of a calf or lamb. Sweetmeats is like candy. Head cheese is from the brain, right? Or no, it's the made with flesh from the head of a calf or pig. It's a meat jelly. That was like such an in-depth description of the sacrifice. That's so interesting. Okay. Yeah, it does sound really gross. It does sound quite gross. Well, part of me wants to read another one, but like the length of them. Although if we only get through like 2 per stream, it's gonna take us a while, hey? But yeah, I feel like we should do some ASMR. Okay. Hi, Phoenix. Oh, thank you. Thank you, likewise. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I am going to wrap up on YouTube. And if anyone is here just from the YouTube, we're going to be continuing on over on Twitch. We're going to be doing some ASMR and like cozy content to fall asleep. If you want to come over there, that is the link. Thank you though to everyone who has watched on YouTube. You are genuinely helping me to try to achieve my goals there. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to drop a like on it. And even like after it turns into a VOD, if you want to drop a comment, apparently that really helps. And make sure that you're subscribed. Thank you. Seriously, thank you so much to anyone supporting over there. Oh, I see the little hearts. Thank you. All right. So, I will be back live on this channel, this YouTube channel, on Sunday night. We will be reading more of this. I know I haven't quite gotten back into the rhythm of getting more edited content out on this channel. Hopefully very soon, but I will at least be live again. Oh my god, Banana, your message got held for review on YouTube. The one that says bring more inward meats. YouTube says, that's not okay. Alright, bye YouTube. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.